new year, the same old damn Disney Channel original movies. Ugh. Welcome to a whole new pod. I am your host, Lucas Melby.
And I'm Jacob Telejohn here with...
Ringing in the new year with...
Sam.
The Combos boy himself.
Let's go.
That dramatic pause wasn't Sam doing a dramatic pause. It was just that his cheeks were full with cheddar combo.
He's munching.
I had one combo.
And crunching.
One combo.
Now you maybe could do it more dramatically like an ASMR video.
Oh, yeah, people love those.
Made a big fucking deal about the combos.
We got some big Sam fans out there, I think.
Recession-proof is what combos are.
They might want the Sam mouth noises.
Do you stan Sam? Comment below.
Well, it's kind of funny.
You don't have any comments, is what you don't have.
We had one comment on our last video, actually, that said, I think 2007 was the last good year of Disney Channel original movies for me. And I went, oh no, hopefully that's not true because we have forever. We'll be doing this forever afterwards. Mostly we get comments about, in other languages like Spanish or something, of people being mad that we didn't full up. I assume we didn't upload the full movie. There was one. Yes. It was like, "Hey, stupida." I'm like, I don't fully know what that means, but I think I get the gist.
Did you not take Spanish in high school?
I did with you, Sam. Actually,
exactly. That means you could tell.
Yeah, but there was something else about it. But I assume it was on the horse sense video. So I guess the Spanish
Maybe he was just talking about the whole horse sense premise was stupid.
Well, you could be right, but I think they more like, I love the Lawrence brothers.
No, they're more upset that the Lawrence brothers did press in their country, but they weren't the actors doing the voices in the movie.
They did press for Money Plane recently, though, right?
Wow.
Yes, and that is something I need to see because that sounds amazing.
I haven't seen
that. Has the Lawrence brothers?
It has one.
Two of them.
Oh, it has two of them and it's directed by one of them.
Yeah, it has the youngest one and the oldest one, and I believe the youngest one directed it.
That's a combo.
Also, Kelsey Grammer.
And Adam Edge, rated R superstar Copeland.
What the heck? Did it get like mediocre reviews?
Direct to video.
Mediocre probably would be generous. I think it might be on Hulu. I think it was on Hulu for some time.
Money Plane, huh?
When you have a podcast about Disney Channel original movies, sometimes you can't even expend the energy to watch a good movie. You can only watch bad movies.
Or Castle. I'm on Hulu.
Sam has no problems with watching anything.
Hey, Castle's great.
But I was trying to say that it has been quite a while since we've had Sam on. It might even be like 6 months. The last episode was, of course, the Kim Possible movie. Where
great piece of cinema.
Sam
should be in the Smithsonian.
Sam started.
Can't argue with that.
And we didn't have him on after that because he was all talking about me glossing over everything.
You glossed over like half the goddamn plot.
Well, that might happen today for our movie Johnny Kapahala, back on board. And it's actually funny that you brought up Spanish class because I feel like the first time I heard about Johnny Tsunami was in Spanish class with you, like freshman year of high school. Well, after.
Was it from me?
I think so.
It must have been because that movie was tits great.
But it would have been around maybe we were just talking about Disney Channel original movies, and I really had no point of reference for them. And you were like, "Yeah, Johnny Tsunami." I'm like, "What?"
Oh,
Johnny
I'm
Tsunami?
sorry, you didn't go to your grandma's house where she had cable and watched all the Disney Channel movies.
I mean, I did, but I feel like I don't know what we watched instead. Probably like
Berenstein Bears.
My grandma let us sleep in the living room in front of the TV.
I was like, Johnny Tsunami. Even back then, I'm like, that sounds kind of dumb. But that was why it was one of the ones that was on my radar going into making this podcast. Of course, Johnny Tsunami, no secret for me, not a big fan of that movie.
Hater.
Also think
that movie was great. It's called A Fish Out of Water, but it's funny because he went from water to snow.
I definitely believe I'm in the minority of not liking Johnny Tsunami.
He was riding the waves, but the waves were snow.
Well, it was more like the waves of
avalanche.
Life.
And then he had sex with a lady in front of her boyfriend.
Oh,
I may be misremembering it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that might be a
that's why the rich kid hated him so much.
Yeah, I think there was some kind of love triangle.
That might happen in this movie, though.
Who knows?
That scene might have happened in this movie.
It could have.
So, yes.
On the cutting room floor.
Let's try to recap as best we can.
Yes.
Didn't like Johnny Tsunami. Also don't think it was one of
minority opinion.
I don't think it was one of our better episodes of the show, so I don't even know if you should go back and listen to it.
That's probably correct. I was not involved.
He was not. But, so, this movie, Johnny Kapahala, of course called Kapahala because the titular Johnny Tsunami is not actually our main character, Johnny.
No.
It's Grandpa Johnny Tsunami. played
Pono.
by...
Which I think is actually based on an actual surfer from Hawaii.
Okay. But he was, of course...
I think he died out trying to surf from one island to another.
Speaking of
like that.
death,
We'll get there in a little bit, but I should have brought this up, but I think I've done a little bit better with research. Research in heavy quotes there. Johnny Tsunami, played by Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, who, not super well known, but well known for being in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh.
And then I think he's also shown up in some of the video games sometime as Shang Tsung. Is that right? Is he the one who can transform into other people?
Sure.
I thought you played these games.
They have like 30 characters. I'm supposed to remember everybody.
He's a well-known one.
Shang Tsung. If it's not Sub-Zero or Scorpion or Jax, because he's got the metal arms, then who cares? Or Johnny Cage, because he hits people in the nuts. Punches people in the nuts, sorry.
All right. Those are all the Mortal Kombat characters.
Exactly. Then you have the girl.
I mean,
Sonya Blade.
Yeah, we know her name.
You know, let's go through all the people.
Katana,
Striker,
Melina,
that's a deep cut right there.
Melina,
he turns into a dinosaur.
Goro,
Baraka, yes.
Obama.
The reptile, who's the green version of Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Gotta love Reptile. Noob Smoke, as well as Noob Saibot.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is what our audience wants.
We could definitely go deeper.
That might be all of them.
I believe there was a character at one point called Meat. It was just like a bunch of meat.
Ooh.
That was in one of the PS2 games that nobody liked.
Shao Kahn. That was the villain.
Shere Khan.
No.
The Jungle
Am I
Boy.
confusing that with Shere Khan?
No, it's Shao Kahn.
Okay, yeah.
From Otherworld or whatever.
Who was the guy that did the bicycle kick? Did you mention him?
Blanking on his name. Liu Kang.
Yeah, Liu Kang.
The new Mortal Kombat movie, I didn't think was very good.
I liked it.
Anyways, Johnny Tsunami.
The only problem with it I had is they killed Goro right away.
Well, Goro got jobbed out in the original movie anyways. So.
He did, but it was better because Johnny Cage punched him in the nuts and then threw him off a cliff.
It was better in a different way. But Johnny Tsunami, very classic DCOM.
Can we just talk about Mortal Kombat movies instead of this movie then?
I mean...
It was made by the same people that made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles costumes.
Okay.
Which I think was that guy that did the Muppets. What's
Jim Henson's
studio?
I
think it's the same people.
Just Goro, not the entire movie.
Yes, just Goro. The puppet that was Goro.
So Johnny Tsunami.
The titular line, these cost $500, asshole. Punched to the nuts, thrown off a cliff.
Lots of daddy issues in Johnny Tsunami. Intergenerational. Johnny hates his dad. Johnny's dad hates Johnny Tsunami.
Not in this one.
No. Daddy issues are misdirected to step-fathers in this one, or potential stepfathers.
Uncles.
And step-uncles.
As Sam said earlier, fish out of water story Johnny from Hawaii has to go because of his dad's business to Vermont, where then he learns how to snowboard from the famous Jet Jackson, his friend.
You see, I thought he learned how to snowboard by coming back to Hawaii and surfing, and his uncle just saying, hey, or his grandfather.
I think
that's
where he
it's
says
the opposite.
It's like riding the waves of life, or I don't know.
It's riding the waves, but it's snow. Woo!
But then Jacob reminded me earlier that then there's even deeper lore in Vermont about these two brothers in the past who then chose both, either they skied or they snowboard, and then snowboarding's for the poors and skiing was for the rich.
They didn't choose that. They owned one half of the mountain because their parents left it to them or something.
Yeah. So that is setting the scene of 1999.
It's the Hatfields and McCoys is what it is.
Tale as old as time.
Exactly.
1999, Johnny Tsunami released. Fast forward 8 years to 2007. They say, sure, why don't we make a sequel to Johnny Tsunami? But in a way that they could have gotten away with calling it Johnny Tsunami anyways, because I think most people think Johnny Tsunami is the main character.
Yes.
I know that I will not refer to him as whatever the heck you think it is, because I'm calling him Johnny Tsunami.
We'll just call him Johnny.
Johnny Kapahala.
Not to be confused with Johnny T.
Isn't Johnny T just him?
No, that's his grandpa.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking movie.
Johnny Tsunami. Tsunamis with
the patient was the doctor's son. So
you see a tsunami is when a big wave floods inland. So, much like the charisma of our main character, because he's the greatest.
What I'm trying to get at is, I don't know why this movie was made. It seems so weird that how distant it was.
Popularity.
For money.
Unless, I mean, yeah, I guess cashing in on nostalgia maybe, but then like, Johnny's not doing any of the stuff he did in the original movie.
Oh, I beg to differ.
He's not snowboarding and he hardly surfs.
I mean, it has like 4...
He actually never surfs.
It has like 4 of the same characters.
Well,
cast
a
members.
lot of them are his family
dad,
members.
his mom, his grandpa, and
Yes,
him.
exactly.
The only thing I can think of is...
what is dirt skateboarding?
Dirtboarding?
It's just snowboarding on the dirt.
That's what Chris says, Uncle Chris.
Exactly.
Yes.
Uncle Chris is the fucking dumbest goddamn piece of shit ever.
Chris is 12.
My guess is maybe...
And a whining 12-year-old at that.
Johnny Tsunami
Even
gets...
by whining 12-year-old standards, he's more whiny.
Johnny Tsunami gets made. Maybe that kid wanted to just live a normal life. He went to school. He graduates from school and then still wants to try to be an actor or something. And that's when this movie gets made. Otherwise, I don't know why they would have had such a long gap in between.
How dare you? Johnny Tsunami's been in a number of things. Vamp while I tell you what things he's been in. Keep vamping.
We've had a long enough opening anyways. We'll get into the
Vamp,
start of the
vamp.
movie where we're checking in with Johnny in the environment we were
Tell
used
John,
to
tell
him.
me about your day while I look this up.
Sam, we could
I'm
just
on a
start...
podcast right now.
Almost
That's
there.
my day.
No, just tell me what'd you do when you woke up.
He probably got showered so that I could come pick him up.
Yeah. And then I'm on a podcast.
Oh, yeah. I had leftover pizza. I ordered pizza last night.
They delivered to your new house?
No, for the first time, actually, because I had to drive to Pizza Hut. Now, how dare you say he wanted to still be an actor when he was in Campus Confidential?
When did that come out?
That came out 2005.
Okay, so still
One
6
episode-
years after the original.
One episode of The Unit
The
in
Proud
2007.
Family.
The Proud Family. He played 8. That was 8 episodes. Even Stevens, 4 episodes. Go Fish. That was 1 episode.
Okay, so
Boston Public, Wind River.
maybe some of column A, some of column B.
And he last acted in 2015, Up on the Woof. That is
Oh,
a
man.
Christmas movie involving a dog in a chimney or something.
Yikes. So, Johnny
Yeah.
Kapahala, back on board.
Yes.
Starts out, we check in with Johnny. He's in the environment we're used to seeing him in based on the first movie. He's up on the slopes of a big mountain. Looks like he's about to snowboard.
CGI mountain.
Yes, because...
Bad by CGI
It's very bad
standards.
CG because he's at this precipice of this mountain. Looks
You
like he's
thought
about to
the
fall
elevator
off.
scene in Bloodshot was bad. This was worse.
Nobody thought that because nobody saw Bloodshot.
I did, and it was bad.
But he slips and falls off this mountain.
It falls a long way.
Very clear that this is going to be some kind of dream sequence.
Well, but he doesn't just fall and wake up. He falls and he lands in
He's on the surf.
He's surfing.
Still in his winter clothes with surfing
Yeah.
on the waves. Eventually, of course, wakes up because it was a dream after all.
Yes.
And he's in the back seat of his car.
The middle seat.
With his
Just so the
parents.
camera can get all 3 characters.
That's
yes, that
probably
is
true.
why. But of course, Johnny's dad, he hates his fucking dad. In the first movie, now his dad is there, partially on business.
Yes. Business daddies.
Business dads, you know how they
everyone's about but granddaddy business.
be. You know
Dad
dads, they be
business.
businessing.
That's true.
Oh, not to mention the girl's dad, who's also a busy businessman. Who
Yeah.
only has
Oh,
time
yeah.
for
We'll get
business.
to all
He's-
the business dads.
He's a keystone to this movie.
We don't fully understand what the parents are going to be doing yet on this trip, but Johnny is hearing about his new Uncle Chris because his grandpa, Johnny Tsunami, is getting married, so he's going to have like a step uncle of
And
some sort.
he's so excited to have like an older figure in his life, or like an adult. He's like, oh, I can finally talk to another adult. But
Because
this
we're not
is-
actually clear how old Johnny's supposed to be in this movie.
He's
Yeah.
like,
In real life, he was like 22 or something, but Disney Channel, they can always play younger. We don't really know. He at least is 16 because he drives cars at different
Yeah.
points.
that he could just be driving cars for driving cars. Hawaii, they don't care. Woo!
Yeah, hang loose, dog.
Yeah.
Go
50 First Dates also took place there.
So his parents are off to go do business. And he's like, well, how am I going to meet up with Uncle Chris? And they drop him off with this mysterious guy. And we're
Yeah.
all like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's fair that we don't know who he is because
We've never met him.
he's
the
supposed to
actor
be a
him.
character from the first movie, Sam,
Yes.
who was played by the actor from the famous Jet Jackson.
Yes.
Was that the title, The Famous Jet Jackson?
That was the show, and then he was in Jet Jackson, the movie. That's what we had watched. Lee Thompson Young. But he was not in this movie. I think likely because he was struggling with like mental health and maybe drug issues because in 2013, so still a number of years after this movie was released, he committed suicide. So you might not have been in the right
Yeah.
place.
On a
to-
lighter note, Action Jackson, the movie with starring Carl Weathers, is a dope movie.
All right, we got Mr. IMDb
Wow.
over here.
Well, it is. It's very good.
we were confused. We're like, who the fuck is this guy? But oh, it's Sam. And I do remember in the original Johnny Tsunami, his dad was he was an army brat.
Yes.
Sam was. So
Yes.
they just wave it. He's like, I can't believe my dad. We had to move to Hawaii, so now I'm here in this movie.
He said he
Yeah.
was in Iceland.
Was
Do we
5
have army
years or
bases
something.
in Iceland?
We got them all over the fucking place.
But
Yeah.
in Iceland, what's the strategic value of that?
What's the strategic value of a lot of the places we got?
See, I think
Name
he
one
did
that
say
has
he
less
w-
strategic value than that.
I do think he said he was there for 5 years, so it does.
I think that was at
fast
the end of the
forward.
movie of extra drama. Oh no, Sam's moving away. Or,
Yeah.
But then I think he maybe didn't move away.
Oh.
I don't know. There was a huge party and everybody was invited.
Exactly. That was the
That's
only
true.
thing I remember from that movie.
As they're on driving or before they leave, there's this marauding gang of dirt border kids. Very clearly supposed to be super cool and also kind of sinister. They cut by and Johnny and Sam are just like, the fuck? And we will see them again.
Yes.
They meet up with Johnny T, or Johnny Tsunami. I sometimes call him Johnny T. Some people in the movie also call him Johnny T.
On the
only,
beach.
only the police officer. Whose
Officer
name-
Oki.
Yes.
Doki.
Now,
So-
I misheard him one time where I thought he said Wiki Wiki when I'm pretty sure he just said his name.
No, he did say Wiki Wiki. What did it mean? I don't actually know, but
He's
Hawaiian
trying to be
lingo.
hip. He's
What
trying
what
to
does
be hip in
Pono? What does
2007?
Pono
Oh
mean?
no. I-
Bow wow, wiki yo, wiki yay.
So they meet up with Johnny Tsunami on,
On
the
the
beach. He's
Training a little kid.
yeah, and the little kid, he doesn't like surfing.
He's pissed.
He's no like Mike, that's for sure.
I was thinking about like and I was like, should I be like Sam and just throw out a random movie title? But I restrained myself.
He's much more whiny than like Mike was. And for less, like Mike was an orphan. Living in an orphanage. And this guy
episode's
has
gonna be
a
longer
loving
than the
mother,
movie. Yeah,
a
that's
loving
right.
mother, and a soon-to-be stepdad. Yes, there's an age gap between his mom and stepdad. But you know, Johnny Tsunami's just got that good D that all the ladies love.
Wow.
So I don't know if you were talking about the age gap between Johnny Tsunami and who he's about to marry. Is that
Yes,
what you were saying?
that's what I
wasn't
was.
sure if you were talking about like Mike still.
No, I was saying that Chris is more whiny than like Mike, but like Mike was in an orphanage. He had much more to complain about.
Okay. So we do meet Johnny Tsunami's bride-to-be. I don't remember her name. I don't remember the actress's name either, but she is the titular Teen Witch in Teen Witch.
Yes.
I've talked about it, I think, on this show before. Hilarious, late 80s comedy movie. Definitely worth checking out. But then we get the reveal that bratty boy from the beach is actually her son, which means dun dun dun.
I would more say guitar squeal.
Guitar squeal, record scratch. That's your Uncle Chris.
Honky.
Dun, 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 dun.
So Uncle Chris is 12 years old, hates surfing. So
And it's the most whiny bitch ever I've seen in a movie.
yeah, I've talked about disliking most young kids in any of these movies, but in this one,
Wait, I have a joke here, so everyone's stop talking.
that's usually how jokes happen.
Exactly. He's the whiniest bitch I've seen since Beverly Hills, Chihuahua.
Yikes.
Wow.
Swish!
I'll keep it in.
Exactly. You better, because that is an Oscar-worthy joke right there. Benji was also about a dog.
So, as I was saying, I generally hate most of the young kids in this movie. Sometimes you're still supposed to like those kids. In this movie, you're not supposed to like this kid.
No.
So then he's like even extra annoying because he's an
Yeah.
annoying
Oh,
little
God.
kid, but then he's also supposed to be annoying, so it's very, very
Now,
dialed up.
I also worked in a middle school for a while, and those kids weren't as whiny or bitches as this kid is written to be a whiny bitch.
And there's something about sequels where they just always got to pair up the main character with some little kid in the second one. You know, you got RoboCop 2, I think. You got Aliens.
That one wasn't whiny.
I hate Newt more than I hate
She was just
Uncle
like,
Chris.
they come out at night, mostly.
Anyways.
Let's think of the ones where
No.
they teamed up.
and then
Turner and Hooch, too. That was a puppy, I think.
and that's going to be this movie. is
Dutch. That was, that wasn't a sequel, but it was a stepdad.
Okay. Mr. Mom.
Oh, yeah. Uncle Buck.
I love Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck is great.
a good
Let's talk
movie.
about Uncle Buck for a while.
No,
When he uses a snow shovel to flip those pancakes.
he's wild, man.
Exactly.
Look up on YouTube, Uncle Buck, like a horror movie trailer.
Oh,
Classic
no.
video. Anyways, this movie's all about Johnny and Uncle Chris's relationship.
Yes.
And it's very rocky. They're riding the waves of 12-year-old to 22-year-old relationships or whatever.
But not really, because his Uncle Chris hates surfing, which
He
is
does.
the
He
biggest
hates surfing.
obstacle in the world, apparently.
This movie is also very much about Johnny Tsunami opening a surf shop,
Yeah.
which
You're
seems...
not wrong.
So I think I didn't pay super close attention to all this movie. But later on, it made it sound like he was just going into business with Chris's mom, but then they, like, fell in love. So they were already going to open a business, but now they're going to get married and open a business.
All right, no, I think I got the gist on this. So her parents died.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
And left them the shop.
Oh.
And she was going to marry Johnny, and Johnny was like, hey, let's open a surf shop instead of selling the land. Oh, I love Hawaii.
He fucking loves Hawaii.
Oh, he loves Hawaii, even though he's Japanese.
Hawaii is very close to Japan.
Is it? I'm going to look this up.
I mean, that's
How many
probably
kilometers is
why
it?
Japan struck Pearl Harbor during World War II, but it also is oddly enough, a pretty prominent like vacation spot for Japanese people because it's a way to get to America without having to fly for 14 hours no, it's like 20 hours, I think, usually. Depends on where you fly, of course. But yes, they are both getting married and seemingly opening this shop like on the same weekend, so not quite a big game situation, but it almost gets to that point. Coincidentally, this surf shop called the Surf Shack because...
It's 4,108 miles. Not really that close.
Well,
The entire distance of the United States is like 3,000.
That's still, plane-wise, that's pretty close. Like, California to, like, New York, that's like a...
That's 3,000 miles.
Yeah, so that's like an 8-hour flight or something. It's still closer to them for them to get there than... Whatever.
You can lay one United States
This is
and
why we
still
don't have
1,000
surf
goddamn
miles.
miles.
But this surf shop is right across the way from... I think the shop is called maybe Dirt Devils.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
But-
called Men at Work. Stop.
That's what the
The
sign says.
signs are, that's what they say.
But this is where those cool skater boys... She said, see you later, boys.
He wasn't good enough for her,
This is where they're kind of hanging out. And
which is apt for later on.
Chris is also hanging out there and seeming to be... He doesn't like surfing, but he likes dirt boarding.
Yes.
He's kind of palling around with these guys. Johnny goes over to introduce himself. We meet Jared, who's the ringleader, who is possibly one of the most sinister characters we've
Don't
ever
like
had in a
him.
decom.
Maybe even worse than the one from Subway.
He is... competition.
Wow.
But yeah, he's comically evil in certain ways. His crew also is kind of comical with their names. We meet Val, or Valerie, who is a girl,
Yes.
played by Rose McIver, who we saw... I guess she's somewhere in Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. I think she's one of the... I think she's one of the girls on the baseball team. I think I'm just remembering who she is. Also is in
Is she like
iZombie.
Is she a love interest to Eddie in that movie?
Eddie doesn't have a love interest. His
No, but
love
just
is
food.
cooking.
His
Food.
love is his dad,
Yeah.
who helps him, and he opens an egg one-handed. And
It's
he's
pretty
all,
wild.
oh, that
That's
blew
true.
my tits off.
How did he know how to do that if he hated cooking so much?
That's true.
She was also in iZombie and the Netflix Christmas movie, The Christmas Prince, which is quite bad.
Did you watch it, Melba?
I did watch it.
Did you
Don't
watch
ask
the
me
sequel?
why. I didn't watch the sequel, though. I can't remember what that sequel was called, though.
I think the one I'm thinking of had what's her face from High School Musical in it.
Yes, that's a Christmas night.
The one that
She
was
was in a
naked
couple
on the
of them,
internet.
I
Vanessa Ann Hodges. There we go.
Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens, which High School Musical 2, that's our next episode.
Yeah.
after
Oh,
this.
really?
Get hype.
Maybe I'll be back for that
Oh,
one.
man.
Get your head in the
It'll be
game.
3 hours long.
Am I right?
Get your head in the game was in the first movie.
I think it also makes an appearance in the second
Oh,
one.
man. Other members of the crew are Spidey.
Oh, just on a side tangent here.
I mean, I don't know if you can even call it a side tangent. That's just like this whole podcast.
I don't care. So High School Musical we were talking about. When I was at our friend Freddie Manderfeld's house, we got pretty loaded at a brunch, so I had to wait a while before I drove back from the cities to Mankato. We watched Room Raiders. Do you guys remember that show?
That sounds familiar.
It was on MTV. You got
I'm
three
shaking my
people, and one person goes through their rooms and decides who they want to date based on their rooms. And every time a guy smells the girl's underwear.
Oh.
Every single time. So they had Zac Efron on there. We looked it up. He was 17 at the time, and it's starring in some sitcom called, like, Southland or something like that. But he was in Room Raiders, and he also smelled the girls' underwear.
Wow.
And all these girls were well over 18, so I don't know how they got a minor to do this.
That's a weird look.
Yeah.
Well, I'll never think about High School Musical ever the same again.
Just
Wow.
thinking of him smelling a girl's panties.
What I always want to say is Jared's crew also has 2 members named
Also,
Spidey and
also in
Rooster.
Room Raiders, there was a girl named Raisins. Her real name was Raisins. And it was really funny. The guy that was going through her room was a hopeful Olympian. And he never made it to the Olympics. Yet he had the girls race for his affections at the end of the show. But Raisins lost. Next episode we watch.
Oh, man.
Room Raiders go to Texas.
Oh, man.
Help.
This is all staying in. I
Hell.
can guarantee you that.
Saying this now, I don't know if this podcast will release on time. I don't know. This will be like 8
I don't know if
years
it'll
to
release
edit.
at all.
Maybe I'll just upload it. No editing. So yes, the main person to know from this group is Jared. He's the really evil one, and Val, who is quickly set up to be the love interest for Johnny.
Yes.
Chris is very cool with these guys, or is trying to get him to be cool with the crew. It's
He's
kind
not
of
cool with these guys. He's a wannabe.
It's hard to judge how the relationship is, because we also meet Troy, the owner of the shop, who
Wait.
is also like way too cool with all of these guys,
Wait.
these young kids.
Was Troy the owner, or was
Yeah.
Troy the guy that wrecked the store?
No, that's Jared.
Oh, okay.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, everybody.
But Troy is
Just
also
cut that
like
right there.
adult with Candy, like, hey Chris, come on, come dirtboard with
A
us.
Matthew
dude.
Fox lookalike.
It's so cool. Yeah, then he goes into the skate shop. We get a little rundown about dirt boards, because honestly, I've never heard of them really.
Oh yeah, they got all these tech decks and tech deck wheels.
Tech.
Basically,
Oh.
dirt boards are skateboards with big wheels, but your feet are also latched onto the board.
Like a surfboard. I wonder if that'll
Or
come
no,
back.
like a snowboard.
Sorry.
That'd be kind of dangerous if you were latched onto a surfboard.
You know, I would like to be latched onto a surfboard. Make it easier to stay on the board.
Easier
Valerie,
to drown.
or Val, quickly invites Johnny to, I don't know what you want to call it, a dirt board session.
Bang!
A sesh.
But my notes here already
Bang
say
sesh.
love interest question mark and
Yes.
But Chris is pretty upset by this, and he'll be upset as Johnny continues to be invited to stuff, because if it
Johnny
wasn't
Tsunami is the greatest person in the world.
if it wasn't clear enough in the original movie, he's maybe even cooler than Cody in the 13th.
Cody.
year. He excels at just about everything very quickly. He's
Does
the
everything good.
Corbin Blue in Jump In. right?
Everything board related. Snowboarding, skateboarding,
Board games,
board games,
dart
Waterboarding.
Putting up some board,
They-
2x4s.
They brought him down to Guantanamo. So the movie quickly establishes then that when people are doing dirt boards or sick tricks, they change how the film looks. They kind of oversaturated some
There's like
parts.
a lot of different kind of film techniques.
They add in fake
use.
film
It's
grain.
not techniques. They wanted to make it look cool like the old skateboarders of Tony Hawk.
Well, they
when
should have used a fisheye lens then.
Yes.
when they just went around California looking for pools that were drained and skateboarded in them.
There's one part where they like invert the color so it kind of like looks like a film negative or something, and it's just supposed to have you go like, wow! And it's like, Brink didn't need to do this. It was super
Exactly.
radical.
They had chocolate
true.
stained Dane in it.
They're trying
The only
too hard.
thing I remember from that movie was that insult.
So Johnny and Chris, they're about to try doing the dirt boards, and Chris is
Yeah.
like, fuck off, Johnny. But Johnny goes. He does pretty well. He just doesn't know how to stop, and he kind of crashes and burns
Much like
out.
the guy in Mighty Ducks 2, who was played by the guy from The Sandlot that was really fast.
Eddie the Jet Rodriguez.
Exactly. But I don't remember his name in Sandlot.
Eddie the Jet
I
Rodriguez.
believe he was from Texas, and at one point he does lasso someone.
Wow.
And they give him a penalty of roping, which is not a penalty in hockey.
Huh.
If anything, they'd get ejected for bringing a rope on the ice. But I digress.
There's nothing in the rule. That
You know
says a
what?
dog
I'm
can't
going to
play
say
hockey.
this right now. From now, the next 3 episodes of this podcast is going to be the Mighty Ducks 1, 2, and 3.
Hey man, if we didn't divert to do a Dunstan Sexton episode yet,
That's not Disney Channel.
Well, neither is the Mighty Ducks.
It's made by Disney.
Those, at least the first 1 or 2, were theatrical releases.
By Disney.
We're not going to do High School Musical 3 yet until maybe we do all the other movies.
Was that a theatrical release?
It was.
It looked pretty crappy because
Well, they didn't probably need to worry about having much production value because they knew a bunch of fucking teen girls. Would
exactly
still go see
because the Miranda Cosgrove of Zach and Cody check in. I don't remember her name.
it. Zach and Cody check in.
Sweet Life of
Sweet
Zach
Life
and
of
Cody.
Zach and Cody.
Then it was Zach and Cody on deck or something like that.
Okay,
Sweet Life on
I
Deck.
do like. Actually, no, I do like Zach and Cody check in. Dunstan crossover.
They did check in because their mom was the
And
singer
they
at
never
the
checked
hotel.
out. They were at the Hotel California.
Exactly.
Chris does actually kind of well, or at least Jared seems to think he's doing well because he's like, "Oh, you're so cool, Chris. Doesn't Johnny suck? Hey, you should dirtboard and never surf ever because Johnny Tsunami's the worst person in the state of Hawaii." But then he's like, "But if you gotta really impress me, you gotta go to the toilet bowl."
The toilet
He
bowl.
don't mean the last place game in a tournament, which I was too familiar with when I played hockey.
What?
Well, hockey tournaments. Not to break this down for you, but you got people that lose every game, and then there's still a game where you have the first place
Oh,
and
sure,
second
they call it
place, and then
toilet bowl.
the consolation one, the toilet bowl, is the last place.
Is that one of
teams.
the things in like backyard football, like the cereal bowl, or you get like the toilet bowl if you
Ooh.
lose or something?
I don't have time to explain athletics to you.
All
Melby.
lunch pail all the way. Lunch pail with Pablo, key to victory right
I don't know
there.
what you're talking
Backyard football.
about.
He was a
You said
winner.
lunchbox.
Backyard football,
Is that
backyard
the
baseball.
lunch box or is the lunch pail?
No.
I don't remember.
No, I don't care.
It's a move.
The only
Just
one
to play.
that game was terrible, but backyard hockey was dope.
Oh, sure.
Always have the kid in the wheelchair as goalie. Always.
So this toilet bowl, it's basically just like a big sand dune or, I don't know, inactive volcano thing.
Yes.
That it's a big
Inactive volcano.
inactive volcano.
That wasn't a volcano. It was just
I
a
mean,
sand dune thing.
I mean, technically, isn't like all of
That's
Hawaii
true.
like former volcanoes? So
no.
I
Or
don't
it's
know.
at least it's built up by like volcanoes.
Kind of looked like
That
runoff.
doesn't mean the whole thing is a volcano.
I said inactive.
Yeah, either it was that or like a quarry. I think it was like a quarry kind of
I don't
dugout.
think
Like,
there's quarries.
If it was a
Hawaii.
quarry, it'd be rock, not sand.
well, then it was a volcano.
It can only
It
be
would
one or the
also
other.
be rock, not sand.
But it's this big bowl. Well, I mean, that's why it's called the toilet bowl. They're about to go. Chris is kind of scared, and Johnny's like, "Hey, you sure you want to do this?" And Chris is like, "Yeah, I'm a tough guy." But then Officer Oki rolls up and says, "Hey, this is private property. Who owns it? We never find out who."
I'm pretty sure it's Val's dad, who, spoiler alert, is Richie Rich.
It's the business people from Rip Girls who are Val's dad.
Business.
He's all about making condos.
So they get taken back. Grandpa, or Johnny Tsunami, and stepmom, or actual mom, Chris, learn from the cop, and they're like, "We're disappointed in you. We're taking away your wheels. No wheels for, I don't know."
Oh, I'm sorry, Melby glossed over something again, as he's known to do.
I mean, this episode's already half hour long.
Okay,
So-
well, he glossed over the mom said, "Oh, the place that I rented down the beach from here is too small. So now he lives here."
That at least made sense why that happened, because I didn't quite understand the trajectory of her and Johnny Tsunami's relationship, because I wasn't paying that close of attention. So that's why she was
Monster.
renting a house to begin with. So now it makes more sense. So thank
It
you.
does.
Sam. It's a perfect movie. So then Johnny tries to console Chris by saying, "Hey, bro, it's all good, bro." And then Chris is like, "Don't call me bro. We're
Bro.
not family. Fuck you."
I
Chris
wonder
is
if this
still
will be
very
the arc.
likable.
Chris is always a little bastard in
He's
this
a little
movie.
bitch the whole fucking time.
Next day, Johnny needs to watch over Chris because
Babysitter's
Johnny
uncle.
Tsunami's like, "Hey, everything's fucking riding on this surf shop. If it doesn't go well, I lose everything." What is everything? We don't really
He
know.
never says that, Melby. He's there's one thing I need you to do, and they both look at each other.
I think he says like everything is
implied.
riding on this.
Everything's riding on wedding.
This.
Yeah, maybe, I guess.
By this, he means
So maybe Johnny's-
this dick.
Maybe Johnny Tsunami's just being a bit of a drama queen or something.
Drama king.
Drama porno.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyways, Johnny is watching over Chris. He enlists Sam to drive them around. They go, I think, check out the surf shop.
Yeah.
They're maybe going to help set that up, but then Johnny's parents arrive and are like, hey,
We're gonna set
you
it up
go
now.
off with Chris. We're going to wear swimsuits or whatever.
Yeah. There was a lot of
No, they're all looking at ladies' bathing suits, and then his mom comes and takes the bathing suit.
and puts them on.
It's like, turn your boners off, except for Sam.
But it was like the bottom of the
Yikes.
bathing suit, and I don't know, I just found that just seemed weird for them to be like, oh yeah, this is so
Yeah.
sexy. Just-
No, but that's where the butt goes.
I know, but I don't know.
And the vagina.
Hey man, not as horny as Johnny Kapahala, I guess.
You're also not 22 anymore.
No, I'm not 22.
He's
that's,
lost
that's
his
for
sex
sure.
drive.
He also sees Johnny Tsunami in a suit going to make a business deal. And this
Yes.
really throws Johnny for a complete loop. He's like, what the fuck is my grandpa doing? He never should wear a suit. He's Johnny fucking Tsunami. Sam's like, hey, calm down. Then Chris runs off somewhere. Chris runs off at least 4 times.
Chris doesn't run off somewhere. He gets into a van with the Dirt Devil guys.
Yes, that's
The guy who's like, oh, they bring the dirt, I bring the devil.
Ooh.
Pedophile is what that's going
Creepy.
for.
Yeah, the
Creepy
Dirt
guy.
Devils all drive off in this van. Sam and Johnny
Pedophiles.
follow in his Jeep. They catch up, and they're at the harbor where Troy, the skate shop owner, knows a guy who made a skate park on a barge.
He knew the guy that owned the barge, and he made the skate park on the barge.
It's like, hey, maritime law doesn't apply here anymore, or it only applies here.
Ooh.
And then I thought it was something where he's like, well, hey, Chris isn't supposed to skate. His wheels were taken away. Hey, but that was just skateboarding wheels. Or it was dirt boarding wheels. This is skateboarding wheels. And he's not on dirt. He's on the water.
Yeah.
But then Johnny gets involved with...
It turns out that Johnny Tsunami,
he knows how to
the
skateboard.
world greatest skateboarder. Tony Hawk be damned. If you want to see people be ollieing off of jumps, that's what
Ollie.
Johnny Tsunami does. And everyone's all like, oh, that's so fucking great.
Yeah, so he just inserts himself into this situation. Chris obviously gets upset because he's getting upstaged by Johnny. Johnny later tries to be like, I was just trying to make them like you. Well, how is you being cool going to make them like him, Johnny?
The transitive property.
I'll just say, I don't like anybody in this movie.
Hey, Val was pretty cool.
She was alright.
That was cool.
You know, she's rich, so...
Except for her getting 4 ATVs for her birthday.
Hey, business dads got a lot to
Spoiled
make up
little bitch.
for. So, as Johnny, in sick skate vision, is doing all these tricks, Chris kind of just wanders off again. They catch up to him in the Jeep, and he's just walking on the side of the road with a walking stick. And he's like, fuck you, I hate you, Johnny! And then we just cut back to the house of Johnny Tsunami. And then we see Chris running in, pushes Johnny's mom to the side. She
And then
drops
Johnny
some
comes in,
plates.
pushes the mom to the side.
We also learn, I think, from what Troy is saying that, hey, he's just a fish out of water here, Chris. He was from Montana. He doesn't fucking like surfing. He's all about the dirt. That's all there is in
right.
Montana, dirt.
Dirt and snurf.
Wait, Chris isn't from Montana.
Yeah.
He's from Philly.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Troy's from Montana?
I think he said Spider.
Oh.
Spider-Man.
But then Sam comes in and is like, hey, he's just like you, Johnny. You were a fish out of water when you came to Vermont. And I was like, actually, Sam, thank you for spelling that out for me, because I don't remember enough about the first movie to be like, oh, now this is clicking for me, because it's parallels. It's Johnny helping young Johnny. And I'm like, oh, cool, I guess. Chris should have been named Johnny, because we don't have enough Johnnies in this movie.
Johnny 3.0.
So he's in his room complaining.
With a sick-ass Rob Van Dam doll.
Yes, he has a wrestler of Mr. Monday Night or whatever he called himself. And Chris gets even more upset as then Val comes and hits up Johnny very quickly and not subtly at all. He's like, I want a surfing lesson.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not afraid to get wet, if you know what I mean.
Surfing that dick.
Ooh.
So then
Balls.
we get a little montage going, and this is where I was like, wait,
Change.
how old is Johnny supposed to be, and how old is Val? Because this is a summer vacation situation, so we don't know really. Jacob, you probably should know, what's the age of consent in Hawaii?
16.
It is 16. I actually looked this up one time. Because there was a whole true crime story that was based on the age of consent. So
Okay,
the national average is 16.
interesting. Anyways, this whole date night or date surf montage ends with Val writing her number on Johnny's hand in a Sharpie.
You better believe it's 555.
555.
Chris sees it, and that makes him even more annoyed because, Val's the only girl in the Dirt Devils crew, so they all are hot for Val.
They're all, they get sticky to her.
It's like the girl Smurf.
I don't like that.
Oh, Papa Smurf.
No, it's the girl Smurf. What's her name? Smurfette.
You couldn't remember Smurf.
Am I supposed to remember a show that was off 30 years before
I've
I
never
was born?
seen the Smurfs, and I still know Smurfette.
Played by Katy Perry in the movie, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
what the Smurf?
Wow.
You Smurfed with the wrong girl, I believe was in the trailer.
So then there's a really weird turn where Johnny's trying to supposedly get Chris to like him, but him and Sam, talking about waterboarding, they kind of like soundboard him where they sneak into his room, put earmuffs or phones over his ears. Let's say ears some more. And then just blare some music, wakes Chris up in his sleep, and then they drag him out, carrying him and put him into like...
No, they put him in the yard, they're like, hey, your friends will think you look pretty fucking stupid.
They filmed all of it, and they're like... Chris even's like, hey, blackmail's a crime. And
he said it's a felony, actually.
And then Johnny says, the real crime is staying inside on this nice of a day. And I'm like, fuck you, Johnny.
Johnny's just all about the Marty McFly references and the outdoors.
He's just about vibing, man. Just straight vibing.
No, I remember when he was all Darth Vader and he played Van Halen? That was Marty McFly.
So they blackmail Chris to come with them for a fun time. Where's the fun time?
Val's rich-ass house.
Spacious manor.
Chris is all like, this is so sick and toy.
And Val is like,
2007 references.
I'm so embarrassed about how rich
this
and
is so
awesome I
Kevin
am.
Federline. My dad's all in Chicago all the time. My life sucks.
Yeah,
is what Val
so she
says.
has all this nice stuff because her dad is a whole new patented term. He's a business daddy.
It's not as bad as a businesswoman that can only be turned off for business by a man's penis, like in all rom-coms.
Sure, yeah.
The Proposal is the most recent one where that one happened.
She's all about business. She goes back to her hometown around Christmas, and a hometown guy
business
changes her heart about Christmas.
It could be a prince, maybe.
Yeah. Her dad, to make up for being a negligent business daddy, buys her tons of cool stuff.
4 ATVs for her Sweet 16.
So they take them out. We get a pretty long montage of them riding around on the ATVs or four-wheelers.
For each one of her friends.
Are they doing tricks? Sense. No, they're riding in straight lines.
And then they switch over to boarding.
Are they doing tricks? No, they're riding in straight lines.
And falling down.
Yeah, Johnny does fall down some, but then he gets to the point where he's able to grind on a big log.
Because
and
Sam
then
is
Chris
there.
is all like, ah, ha, ha, ha,
they're teaching Samuel.
And at the end of the day, they meet the business daddy, who then Johnny recognizes as who was having a business meeting with Johnny Tsunami. And then it's, I run everything. I do business.
Her dad said he owns a lot of property.
That's the classic Disney Channel way of like, that's as deep as it goes, is just like, I own stuff.
Hey, later on he wants to build condos. He would be the villain in the story.
He would have been the villain in Rip Girls.
The 80s, he would have been the villain.
Chris gets very excited and like introduces himself to be like, I'm Val's friend Chris, because he's got the hot.
Oh yeah, too bad he already knows that Johnny got blown by her.
Oh.
Then we find out,
and sex.
In a big surprise that
in the car that was owned by Sam.
And Sam had to drive through the whole thing.
Exactly. He had to. They made him turn up the rearview mirror.
Turn up the rearview mirror?
Yeah, so he couldn't see behind him. I know how sex works. I'm married.
Sam's a man's man. He knows how sex works.
Exactly. I'm the only one here that's married.
That's accurate.
Happily for a number of years. You'll never know.
I mean, depending on when you listen to this, it's a number of years.
It could be 30.
That would be pretty wild. That
if anyone listens to this shitty podcast,
not that Sam could be married for 30 years,
so
that anybody would be listening to.
Happy 30th anniversary, Sam.
Robin's stuck
You'll
with me.
play this at your 30th anniversary.
There's only one way to get out of this, and that's if I commit adultery, and I'm not going to do that. Do you think a mistress on my salary? No way.
I mean, especially not after this episode.
Yeah,
this gets out, they'd be like,
No, I've told Robin a number of times that a mistress on my salary would not work.
Anyways, Johnny Tsunami is selling stuff other than surfboards at the surf shack. He's also selling
Sex.
dirt boards.
Oh,
This
it's
is
body.
a late addition to the store. And guess who doesn't like it? Fucking Troy or Jared,
He
whichever
sends
one.
Jared to do some recon, and he finds out, he's selling.
He steals an invoice.
There was like
That's right.
trucks and like ballberries and shit there. I don't
There's
think those are for some
fucking
surfboard.
wheels and shit. And this is where I thought
He's got shocks there, man.
the climax of the film would have Johnny Tsunami putting wheels on a surfboard. Like, I can do this better on a surfboard than you can on a regular
That'd be
one.
pretty wild. Something else that was kind of wild is Johnny Tsunami takes Johnny aside because I think they were like, we're not having enough Johnny on Johnny time.
Ooh.
Tell us the story.
Also, I hate to interrupt
Johnny
for
and
a
Johnny.
I don't know if
wild
you do.
tangent. I believe there was a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. There was a skateboarder that used a surfboard as a skateboard. Not to be confused with Wolverine or
That's
Darth
right.
Maul.
That sounds some like real like thug shit, Tony Hawk's Underground
That was a good game.
or Tony Hawk's
was.
American Skateland.
Oh,
I
I
also
love
bought
those.
the remakes, and that is dope as hell. They have some of the original music.
Well, they're
Love that.
they're. I think they got a good amount. They got Superman, right? That's the most important.
I believe they did.
So he tells Johnny the story of his surfing past, and I was for a second like, is Johnny Tsunami gonna die by the end of this
Oh.
movie?
If this movie was better, he would have died in the break-in. Spoiler alert, that happens later.
I think that it'll happen.
And also,
pretty
it
soon.
would have had him die the break-in and the arson that I both called.
So unfortunately, nothing that dramatic really happens. We do get some more drama though, of a very small scale that the Dirt Devils have essentially kicked Val out of their crew.
Yeah.
And they're
Because
not
they
giving-
were fraternizing with the competition, and
And-
Chris is out because
He was never really in, though.
he was a spy.
And they don't get rides to the dirt boarding demo.
I don't know why this
But we
is-
bought our tickets months ago.
I don't know why this is a fucking big deal, because they didn't. It's not like they were actually skating at this thing; they were just there.
They eventually get there because Sam gives Val and Chris a
They
ride.
have a car.
And it's just like,
Because Troy was all like, "Oh, now all you need's a ride." Like, I got a fucking whip here, dogs. Woo!
did you forget Sam was in the movie?
I got a fucking whip right here, you douchebags.
But the demo just kind of looks, it's just in a
Ghost
field.
ride the whip.
There's
Was
like-
also a reference from this time.
There's a vert ramp, there's hay bales. It just kind of looks like a county fair almost, except even like lower scale than that. I think there's some, I don't know if I'd say famous, but some real dirt boarder
Yeah,
there.
yeah. They had
Doing the
somebody.
demo?
I'm sure he was like a real person.
He actually
They
did
would've-
like a flip midair, so that was
Yeah.
cool.
He wasn't a real person.
I'm
though.
sure he was.
That was just CGI.
real-
Well,
person
one
in
of
the
Telejohn's
industry.
classic questions is like, is this a real song? In like a decom, I'm like, well, we're listening to the song right now, so
It's
yes,
real.
it is real. Chris gets into a fight with Jared about
From Subway.
wanting to be in the Dirt Devils, and Jared's like, hey, fuck off. It all comes down
No,
to
Jared's all like, I know the guy that runs this. To impress him, you gotta impress me. I'm Jared, the villain.
Yeah, it all comes down to that the next day they're going to do, I thought it was going to be a race, but it's more just, it's not even like Jared has to do the jump, it's just Chris has to do the jump.
He has to do the jump over a pond that's maybe 6 feet.
I mean, I wouldn't want to do it.
That was scary.
I'd be
Yeah,
scared.
I was not a fan of that.
You're strapped onto the fucking
But he
board.
says, where's the challenge going to be? And he's like, Piku Niku Point, or someplace in there. It's like, oh my fucking god, are you
I was like,
serious?
is this rocket power? Because I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Rocket power.
Rocket Power kicked
stuff.
ass.
That was good content.
There was one time there was a hurricane in that show, and then they went out to skate, but they were in the eye of the storm. Their dad had to save them in a
I thought you were
fucking
going to say,
tank.
like, when Hurricane Katrina happened, they had to pull an episode.
This happened before fucking Hurricane Katrina.
I was in
You're just like all those people are like, oh, this is like what the Nazi Germany was like. There are hurricanes other than Katrina, and there are other bad times.
No,
other
I
than
was one of those
Nazis.
people that after 9/11, and they were going to release Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, I was like, a little soon. Why are you calling it that?
Now, why did they call it the Two Towers? Because I could only see one tower in that.
It's Isengard and what's the other one? I can't. Oh man,
Oh my god, you fucking nerd! You can't remember
Oh.
that.
Barad-dûr. That's
You
the
better-
other one.
Some
You better
fan
commit
you are.
seppuku and
It's
cut your own
Barad-dûr.
intestines out. You fucking suck.
Oh man. Everything's happening on the single day that they had this demo, but then they're also having the wedding rehearsal that night. They're setting up a big party. Everybody's invited.
No, the rehearsal wasn't that night. It was the next day they were going to open the shop and then have the rehearsal dinner.
Okay, so they were just setting up for the rehearsal.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling me out on that.
Exactly. I won't let you gloss over this shit.
Put that in the goof section.
Exactly. Of this podcast.
That we don't have a wiki compiled or
If
anything.
you want to start a wiki for this podcast, you should probably be committed because that was a fucking stupid idea.
Just Sam's references in this podcast alone make you...
Team America World Police is also a dope movie.
Okay, so Chris is still talking about doing this jump. Johnny's like, you're not going to do the fucking jump. But we're going to go get ice. And then Chris is like, yes, I will go get ice with you. At the store, he sneaks off again and then slashes. It's not even...
He wanders by a fucking kayak rental and he's not intrigued by it.
Actually, for a second, I thought that was Sam's vehicle, but it's Johnny Tsunami's vehicle or something. But
no,
yeah.
It's Sam's vehicle. He's just borrowing it from...
Oh, I thought they had that, like, wood-paneled Jeep thing.
Yeah.
Chris slashes the fucking tires.
I got him this time, Telich.
Chris slashes the fucking tires on that thing.
So that Johnny can't catch up with him before he's all set to do the jump. And Val and Johnny both show up at, like, the same time.
Like,
They're like,
stop,
no,
don't do it.
He does it. And
no, they say, stop, don't do it, and then they just let him fucking do it.
Well, he
what,
decided
you think
to
they're gonna,
do it.
tackle him?
Yeah. Well, they're
He's
like,
fucking 12, lifted up by his armpits.
they're like 100 yards away.
They had a fucking conversation before he jumped.
They're far
He's
away.
like, I don't have to stop you, because you're not gonna fucking do it, you fucking pussy.
Like
And then that's supposed to fucking stop
all
him.
the dirt devils.
I was like, oh no, he wiped out. Let's go have sex, Val. I'm Johnny Tsunami.
So yeah, he either breaks or sprains his
arm. He
arm.
breaks
broke
it. It's
his
a fracture.
Yeah, I believe it's a spiral fracture.
We learned some of that because he shows up later that night.
And Johnny Tsunami
day.
says, I know it's confusing that I'm referring to Johnny Tsunami as both Johnny characters, but
They shouldn't
fucking deal with
have
this.
had two people named Johnny, okay? It was a bad idea.
Pono. Let's refer to the one as Pono.
Pono. The first movie was just called Pono.
Johnny Tsunami and Grandpa.
Not to be confused with Hayao Miyazaki's Ponyo.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I was like, isn't that a movie?
Or Ric Flair.
So there's all this ongoing family
That's
drama.
Punyo.
Chris kind of likes Johnny for a bit because Johnny's like, it was a pretty cool jump. So he's like, yeah.
Pretty sick, dog. 2007
There's
language.
also a funny scene where Johnny
Let's go ghost ride the whip while having a Monchi party.
Hey, Bono.
Pono.
Johnny goes into Chris's room, turns a chair around backwards one time to be like, let me level with you, son.
Remember that Coolio video? This is that.
I'd like to talk to you about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Gangster Paradise.
Jesus.
So they're all kind of like, okay, you got hurt, but let's just settle down with all this. We got a wedding plan. Uh-oh, who's that? It's Officer Oki. Tell
Doki.
Johnny Tsunami somebody broke in and trashed his surf shop.
I thought it would be arson, and I was gonna say that I called it.
Still
but
a
it
pretty
wasn't
good
arson.
call. Like, Jared is talking to Troy in different scenes. It's like, this seems like way too serious. And I was like, Sam's like, I think arson. And I'm like, that seems too crazy. But it does get pretty close to,
Yeah.
I mean, they trashed the
They trash. They don't start a fire.
No.
It's a lot like the Emperor and Darth Vader. It's like, oh, it'd be very terrible if this happened.
Yeah. And I think Jared is just there for some reason. We're pretty confident Jared did this.
No, they said we found him in the back with this bag of shit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And it's all the decks and wheels and shit.
He gets arrested, and then Troy walks by and is like, oh my god, what happened here?
Oh,
Your shop?
oh.
I don't know anything about it. I'm just a small town skate shop owner. Spoiler alert, Troy definitely knew about it. And he still is so mad at Johnny Tsunami, he still wants to steal his soon-to-be stepson to be like, Chris, you want to come over tomorrow? I'll give you a free dirt board. And then...
Oh, I want you to wear my fucking logo, even though that means shit.
I can see talent in you. And then
Also, this is something that was glossed over earlier. That's going to come up in the next scene. But you hear, what's-his-face that owns the place?
Hey, Pono.
Troy,
he's on the phone, was like, oh no, the deal's been called off. You fucking suck. I'm done.
Business happening in the background. That'll culminate pretty soon. But Johnny steps in and says, you can't give my uncle free stuff. And Chris is like, I fucking hate you, Johnny.
Johnny, you fucking I'm your uncle.
But
sir.
It's not really clear, besides just business rivalry, but there was already like a weird focus on Chris from Troy even earlier in the movie, that why Troy is so focused on like fucking over Johnny Tsunami.
Because he owns the shop across the way from him.
But this was happening even before he started having the skate stuff in the shop. He was already like, yeah, Chris, hop in my van. We're going to go to the skate barge.
Maybe just jealous.
He's like, Johnny Tsunami's old potatoes. I'm new potatoes.
Bringing in the new Hawaii. So Chris's mom becomes so distraught about her son being such a piece of shit that she says, I can't marry you anymore, Johnny Tsunami, and we're going to go back to Philadelphia.
That was weird. And
Johnny Tsunami's like, let me have that ass one more time. I'm Johnny Tsunami.
And it's one of those things where Chris is hearing them talk about it, you know.
Oh, he's just leaning up against a wall. Like,
and
what?
It's not like he even really does anything differently.
He doesn't. He just stops being such a whiny bitch all the time.
Because then Johnny's just like, you know, that jump was cool.
I'm the world's greatest detective, Johnny Tsunami.
So, our next scene was our favorite because Johnny Tsunami and Johnny have another grandpa's son.
He squats down like he's taking a shit.
And that's the thing is, we don't know what they talked about because we were more focused on talking about pooping in the woods for about 5 minutes, so I don't know what they said.
He's squatting down like he's hovering, taking a shit, and the camera doesn't cut.
So this is a mutual glossing over where none of us was paying
hey,
attention.
grandson, I'm going to take a shit here on the black sand.
Why does it have to be black?
It was black.
Canon.
I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say. What were you trying to say there, Telejohn?
That's how it be.
Answer for your goddamn words.
I was just making a joke.
Stop playing DraftKings right now.
That reminds me of Telejohn's the worst. But that reminds me of a YouTube comment we got on our other Me video, I believe, where Sam tried to make a joke about it was surprising that the mailman was black, and somebody commented to be like, why was that so surprising? I just said, like, I think Sam was trying to be funny, and he falls on his face a lot, so.
Yeah.
I stand by that joke, even though I don't remember
it. But he just accused Telejohn. I'm like, what you trying to say, Telejohn?
Yeah.
Anyways, Val just shows up at Chris's room while Johnny and his grandpa are pooping on
this
the
is
sand.
tough talk time, you little bitch.
She basically is just like, Johnny Kapahala is the coolest motherfucker on the island of Oahu.
Fucking everything for you. He came and showed off his skateboarding skills for you.
It was like he's spending his whole vacation watching you because he's being forced to, but you should still appreciate him because he's so cool.
Yeah, plus this is Hawaii. What, you want to go back to Philly with all its cheesesteaks and people that riot when they win the Super Bowl?
You can get spam in Hawaii. He just wants to be your family. That's all it is.
Oh, also, at one point, Johnny Tsunami plays the ukulele.
Yeah, the grandpa Johnny Tsunami.
Yes.
So then Chris goes and makes up with Johnny. I don't really remember what he says. But
no, probably some shit about family. It's all like, never go against the family. I'm Marlon Brando.
Oh, yeah, so they make up, and then they go and fix up the shop in, like, an afternoon. So, like, it must not have been that devastating.
It wasn't an afternoon, it was a night, sir.
Okay.
And they had kind of like 4 people helping. There's Chris, young Johnny, the girl he was banging, Val,
and
his
Sam.
Friend Chris that watched and filmed while he was banging Val.
I have to say, the guy who plays Sam in this movie is billed as Lil J.
Lil J.
And there also seemed to have been somebody else who was maybe a musician on this called Lil JJ. I don't know who he was.
Yes.
Melby was confused that this movie was written by Joe Jonas, or Nick Jonas.
Yeah, the Google search results provided cast, whatever, misleading. I think there was a Jonas Brothers song somewhere in the background of this. So they
was it You Don't Know You're Beautiful, and that was Makes You Beautiful?
I don't know.
That song's great.
Oh,
you don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful.
That was a Jonas Brothers song?
Girl, you light up my life like nobody else.
I thought that was like a One Direction song or something.
It probably is.
It probably is. I think it is.
Absolutely.
I mean...
Cake by the Ocean. That was one of them.
That goes like both ways. Just like, am I proud that I was able to correct you that it was a One Direction song? But
I used to work in an elementary school,
should
sir.
you have been proud that you were like so?
3 elementary schools.
This is a Jonas Brothers song.
I just went along.
So they fix up the shop. They also build like a volcano inside of it,
and it's got all the fucking tech decks on it. It looks fucking tits.
So then it's time. Finally, I kind of thought the store might have been opened already, but it's the grand opening of the store. Everybody's invited. They have hot dogs, coolers full of presumable beverages.
Is that the opening or is that the wedding?
There's a sign that says grand opening.
Oh, all right.
And Val is like bossing people around. And it's like, where do
Bossing
you get
people
off?
around. It's Johnny and Chris, the two
And
fucking
Sam, she's like,
dum-dums.
Sam, where are you? And Sam's hiding because he's so scared of Val bossing around.
Yeah, he says that. He's hiding behind a
This is why
vehicle.
Johnny's so,
He is
bored
terrified.
with their lovemaking, because Val's all like, do it this way.
It's kind of funny that, like this town is just Johnny Tsunami's house, the beach, and then there's 2 businesses. Like, that's all there is here. Because across the way, more plot is happening because Val's business dad is talking to Troy and saying, like,
About
no
business.
deal, no deal, I'm not buying
We
your
had
shop.
a verbal contract. So we were in negotiations. That doesn't mean shit, you
So it
fucking
comes
bitch.
out that Troy, despite trying to, I don't know, get Chris to join the Dust Devil or Dirt Devils, he's actually trying to sell his shop to move back to California. How could you?
Bastard.
He wants to go up the 101 to the 405 and keep driving till he gets to Santa Monica.
So Val, I guess, kind of knew about this, so she was like, Daddy, please do not buy his shop. We don't need more condos. And he's
all
like,
right,
"For my
Val
little girl, anything, no condos for anybody.
Melby is underselling the power that this female character has. She's probably like, Dad, you dumb business bitch. Don't do it, you fucking...
No deal.
Howie
Yes.
Mandel is the business daddy.
Ooh.
So Troy just continues to be a dick and is like, whatever, fuck you, man, Johnny Tsunami, this is but bullshit, I don't care about you kids, I want to go to California, fuck Hawaii. And then Johnny just comes up and says, in my family, we settle disputes on boards. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
is that true, or you just did that like one time in Vermont or whatever?
Exactly. And Johnny Tsunami Sr.
That's
did
how
that
Johnny
before.
Tsunami got his nickname, isn't it?
He's like,
He
my
killed a
name
man
is
with a surfboard.
Tsunami.
Board battle.
Johnny Tsunami
No,
actually...
he killed him with a tsunami, sir.
Johnny Tsunami
Ooh.
actually killed the girl in Rip Girl's mom in the surfing accident.
Oh, God.
But
Yes.
Johnny is also says, you talk a big game, but I've never seen you dirtboard, brah.
You talk to me the godfather of dirtboarding. I challenge you to a fucking race that's so fucking complicated it makes no fucking sense.
So the stakes of the race, though, is if Troy wins the Surf Shack, which would fit with its name, can't sell dirtboard stuff, and then if Johnny wins, they can both shops can stay open. They can sell whatever the fuck they want.
Let the free market decide
Yeah.
where they go, you dumb business bitch.
Johnny Kapahala is such a benevolent capitalist. Where is this race going to happen? Well, fortunately, Business Daddy also has started to build a dirtboard park.
This was also not informed for a while, so I thought like, oh, did they just get sponsors for this dumb fucking race?
Well, and Sam had joked about, like, her dad owning the toilet bowl from earlier in the movie, so I thought it was going to be...
He owned a lot of properties.
That it was going to happen in the toilet bowl, which would have been maybe a weird place to race
Yeah,
anyways.
I don't know how
but
they would have kept your momentum.
it was not. It's just through the hills of Hawaii.
Yeah. Which was, it was a long race. I don't know. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was a
Before
cool
it
race.
starts, Sam and Chris are up with Johnny at the summit, pepping him up. And Johnny's like, hey, man, it should be you doing this, Chris. You're the better dirt boarder. And
It's all like, Val's waiting for you at the bottom. You could have sex with her when you're
and
done.
Chris is like, no, man, you're Johnny's Kapahala. You're the fucking greatest.
Greatest. You can have sex with my crush anytime you want.
It's just like snowboarding, except it's definitely not. So, Sam, what are the rules of this race?
I don't fucking know. You gotta go down the hill. You gotta do 3 tricks. And
So it is a race.
You gotta get down
Yes.
there the fastest.
It makes a little more sense once we see how it played out, but Sam lays out the rules, not this Sam.
Exactly.
He
Is a
says,
race, 3 jumps, 3 tricks.
Before you finish, you gotta do 3 jumps, successfully do 3 tricks, cross the finish line.
And it doesn't matter what trick you do or how flashy it is. You just have to do a basic trick.
But they do good tricks.
They do a tail grab, a nose grab, and then something else.
I don't know. They do some like somersault.
But it
720s.
did seem so weird how they
Do
have...
you know how many fucking rotations a 720 is?
Like 2.
It's 2 full ones.
Yeah, he does
2.
one. That's a 360. You fucking dumb.
It did seem weird that they had to codify, like, you have to do tricks when, like, if this was like Brink or something, where they do the race with Gabriella, like, they just do tricks to look cool. They don't need to be like, you have to do a trick.
I wasn't
Correct.
invited for the Brink episode.
Well, that was our 3rd episode.
So, yeah.
So the race starts out, we get lots of that radical cam of fake film grain, messing with the colors,
They
making it
use
look
them all.
quote-unquote cool.
Yes.
But we're not getting lots of tricks. So we were still like, when are they going to do the tricks?
Yeah, like we're trying to point out, was that a trick? Was that?
But they
was
get
that
down
one?
to where the finish line is, which makes sense that that's where the tricks happen, because otherwise the crowd's all at the finish line, so they're
Yeah,
not there to be
not
like,
gonna be able to
hey, you
judge
doing
them
the
to
tricks
see.
up there? You guys doing tricks over there?
But the one jerk dude trips Johnny, or he like
So yeah, as Johnny...
Slides his board into him.
As they're getting to the final set of jumps where the tricks are supposed to happen, he does a kind of like a slide tackle from soccer to him with the board.
All he does is do a tail slide into Johnny so he falls.
So me saying slide was accurate?
It's a tail slide, Melvin. I don't have time to dumb down skateboard culture into you.
So they start to do...
It's called Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, you dumb bitch.
Not to be... That's the only one that counts.
That was the best one. You got Wolverine.
I think people
you
like
got Darth Maul.
I think
you
people
got other
I
ones.
think people like 3 a good amount.
I like them all.
You do not. Name one skater.
Bob
Exactly.
Bam Margera.
Yeah, there you go.
He wasn't in 3. He was
Bob
only in 2.
Burnquist.
The guy that went on to My Name is Earl. He was a professional skateboarder before becoming an actor.
I don't care about... I can't devote mind space to...
He was in Stealing Harvard with Tom Green.
No, I was going to say Tom Green? My favorite skateboarder. But they do the big
Bob
jumps.
Burnquist.
They start to do actual tricks and shit. Some of them are impressive. Most of them aren't.
Tail grab, nose grab, and a
Troy,
flip.
his final trick is pretty wild, but he
No,
wipes
it's
out
not.
at
It's
the
called
end.
falling down because he sucks.
Well, you could do some crazy stuff in Tony Hawk, but it's all about the landing. And he
No, it's
botched
not.
it.
You got to turn on zero gravity, and then you can all the trick.
But Johnny, he nails his final trick, passes the finish line, but you know what? He might be good at dirtboarding, but he still doesn't know how to stop.
Much like in Mighty Ducks 2, where they set up the wall of cans so the guy can stop, and he can't stop.
And he crashes into a bunch of hay bales.
Cans and...
Like, where do they get hay bales in Hawaii?
The hayfields.
And it's like, oh my god, he's got hay fever. He's gonna die.
They're all
Johnny
freaking
Tsunami is
out.
one weakness.
Oh, no.
So
Johnny
everybody
Kapahala.
celebrates. They're so happy that Johnny has won.
Yes.
And then the police officer shows up to arrest
It's like, Troy, you're
Yeah.
under arrest.
It's like
You're under
you
arrest for failing that trick.
aiding and abetting and persuading a minor.
They cut over and it's like, Jared totally narked you out, and now he's gonna go stay with his parents, who we see for 2 seconds. And then Troy, he gets carted off in the patio way again.
Yeah.
The Dirt Devils then decide to accept Chris. Not like he did anything different.
They're not the Dirt
but-
Devils anymore, because the devil portion of it has been
There's
arrested.
the dirt.
They're
The
just
dirt
the
accepts
dirt.
them.
They're the Dust Angels.
Dust
now.
Angels.
We are going to get a sponsor, but not anymore, because our leader's in jail.
Johnny Tsunami can sponsor.
Yeah.
Time for us to do
He
crimes.
has a bunch of money, right?
We'll do his will from jail.
He's been in 2 movies. Then we see the wedding happen.
Well, but the store gets some signed boards because there was a little back and forth between Johnny Tsunami and the
That
one
is
jerk dude. They get signed boards
that is
and
the
equipment.
least-
And
I love
Troy's
it.
all like, when those signboards are gone, they're going to come to me, because I
thank
got
you for
the
bringing it up,
goods.
like 20 minutes previous in the movie about the
I
guy
got
we
the
don't know the name of, but he must be a
goods.
famous
He's
dirt
good. Yeah,
board.
they got signed boards, man.
Oh, what? My imaginary friend says that this is cool. What? Don't look under the bed. It's a boogeyman.
Okay, thank you for making that a little clearer, because I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. But the wedding happens, it's all...
It's a movie. Don't look under the bed. I was here for that.
No,
goddamn
that was a
episode.
great movie. My favorite movie.
It's my favorite
It
decom.
was
Yeah.
fucking great.
We get some ukulele music over a montage of the wedding.
It was not Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Don't get your hearts up for that.
It's it was a lot of just everybody who basically had been in the movie up to that
laughing and
point.
pointing.
It's like, point. Oh, there's Val. There's Chris. There's Johnny Tsunami. There's Officer Oki for some reason.
and everyone's pointing before every cut, and they're
we can-
drinking stuff.
We don't get their audio, but we can only assume they're all going, "Hey, Bono!
Hey,
Hey,
Bono."
No,
Bono!"
they're not. They're laughing and pointing.
They're
Drinking
loving
some umbrella drinks.
At my wedding, it was a goddamn requirement that you had to laugh and point.
we
at
were
someone.
we were very stern faced. No
No
happiness was
fun.
had at
No
all.
It's
fun.
like, you have my axe.
He doesn't laugh at that scene. You're thinking of when he wakes up at the end of Return of the King.
I don't
and
fucking
Gimli
care.
goes, "Oh, ho, ho, ho."
I don't fucking care.
And yes, you could say that this wedding was a party that everybody was invited to, because everybody in the movie was there.
Anybody
Not
we
the
saw?
busy business dad who only thinks about business.
Yeah, I don't think he was, because, you know what? Too busy with business. I mean, we don't see any of the Dirt Devils there, and Jared isn't there, so Johnny Tsunami isn't such a forgiving man.
Exactly.
He lets
It's like,
his
no, I
enemies
want
there.
to press charges on that little boy.
Finally, we hadn't seen Johnny Tsunami actually surf up to this point. We saw Chris practicing at the beginning of the movie.
And he fucking sucked.
But we see Johnny Tsunami and Johnny Kapahala shredding some waves, and then they come up on the shore. Chris is there. They're kind of like, hey, you want to surf? And he's like, sure, I guess, maybe. They walk on the beach. Roll credits.
No, you forget, you're glossing over this again. Chris goes, there's some guy causing us trouble. He leaves this, and he hands him a fucking Joker card. Johnny Tsunami's Batman.
Chris walks up to them and says, surfing's cool, I guess, but I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative.
Fuck off. The Avengers fucking sucked.
So that was Johnny Kapahala. Kapahala? Who cares? Back
Johnny,
on board.
who cares?
Telejohn. I feel like you've been a bit back on boredom this episode. How did you feel about this movie?
Need a threequel.
Well, you didn't get one.
No,
that would be the wildest thing. Is if I could see them doing like a new Halloween.
Wait! I got the pitch right here.
Could.
You ready for this? Chris grows up to be a busy businessman, but at their grandpa's funeral,
he commits
his
suicide.
stepdad and Johnny's, you just gotta turn him back to being a fun-loving guy. Johnny Tsunami in Business Board.
Sure.
I found the kid
Chairman of the board.
The kid lived up to his role as being an annoying little shit. So I don't really like.
See, that's why I don't think
you can't really
from the boardroom to the board.
Because of modern Disney.
That was bad. I'm
if
sorry.
they made a third Johnny Tsunami, they wouldn't even reference Chris like hardly existing because probably everybody hated Chris. So it'd just be like Johnny
Everybody
Tsunami,
hates Chris.
Or sorry, Johnny Kapahala.
Damn you, Telejohn.
They made a show about him.
You know, he's kind of like the Scrappy Doo of this.
Yeah.
Hey, Scrappy Doo was fucking dope.
I'm kind of curious if the grandpa's dead or not because you can't make
Chris still alive.
Oh,
Chris would
they could make another movie.
Chris would be the villain like Scrappy Doo was in the live action.
I don't think you can make another movie if grandpa's dead. It's my take.
But I like Sam's
death
death because I would see modern Disney cashing on nostalgia. It's basic. It's just Johnny Kapahala, he has a son, but Johnny Kapahala has turned into his father.
And
he's become a business
and this turns
dad.
into a TV show of him training his son.
His dad, or Johnny Tsunami, funeral.
You are just shitting all over
his
my
love
idea.
of surfing is
no,
reawoken.
fuck off. My idea was much better.
Wow.
But I'm just talking about cynical modern Disney.
No.
They wouldn't bring Chris back at all.
My idea was much better, where Chris is the busy businessman, and Johnny too has to get him back to loving boarding and surfing and
I'm not saying
having
your idea
sex
is
with ladies without the aid of cocaine.
Scam likely.
It actually wouldn't be.
He's only 71.
It wouldn't be too crazy for Chris to be around because he did, I believe, go on to be on Wizards of Waverly Place. So there is the Disney connection pretty strong.
His wife in mine is Selena Gomez, even though she's on that Hulu show that's actually pretty good.
Watch the first couple episodes of that.
It's pretty good.
Sam, speaking of pretty good, what did you think of this movie?
Movie was shit. Chris sucked. I hated every fucking second of him. Johnny Tsunami went from being a cool surfer to being a guy who could do fucking anything that's shaped like a fucking straight line.
I kind of get the pitch of this. It's like...
It would have been better if fucking Chris raced the guy, but no.
It would have been weird for a 12-year-old to go against.
Oh, what? He's
man.
lighter and has less drag on his body because he's smaller? Oh, yeah, he'd never win that.
He needs that weight to hit terminal velocity going down that hill.
No, he doesn't.
I think the pitch of this is just weird. It's just like, what do people love about Johnny Tsunami?
Not
the specific surfing and snowboarding, just the general, like, extreme sports. So let's have him do dirt boarding?
This next one will be like, they are in love with the Thai potty. You eat them and you trip balls.
So, yeah.
Johnny Tsunami and tide boarding. High tide. That's better.
All right. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
So as I've said, didn't like the first movie really that much, or almost at all. I did like this movie more, but it's still weird, and
You're fucking high in your opinions.
I don't like the elevation of Johnny to be like, he's even cooler and better at everything.
No, wait, here. I want to edit my pitch. Johnny Tsunami's president because he can't fail at fucking anything.
President of the United States?
Yes, but he's still shredding the waves all the time. And then Chris is the busy businessman who only thinks about business.
Well,
and then Johnny Tsunami's got like, you gotta think about the surf, brah. I surf on Congress, man.
Surf on Congress.
Man.
Well, speaking of Johnny Kapahala having a run at the presidency, Sam hasn't... you were around for this segment of Never Remember. where we talk about whether the main character of a Disney Channel original movie could have stopped 9/11. I think it's pretty well sealed up that Johnny Kapahala could have stopped 9/11.
absolutely.
Oh, he would have busted out a skateboard and done a sick ollie straight into the mouth of Al-Qaeda.
He would have had it in his carry-on, so he would have just, So this episode's been long enough. That's never remember Johnny Kapahala is possibly the greatest human ever to be in a work of fiction.
Absolutely.
See,
Johnny Kapahala should be the next James Bond.
No. It should be Henry Cavill, and I stand by that.
I don't have any even in the James Bond movies, so I don't really care one way or another. But that sounds good to me.
It should be Idris Elba and Henry Cavill switching scenes and never calling to attention which was which.
Something else that would sound good to me is if you wrote us in at awholenewpod@gmail.com.
Have you had one email?
No,
since
we
I've
haven't
been on here?
we haven't had any emails in. Well, Dustin emails us from some time to time. But yeah, we haven't had an email in a while. So give us a review of this specific episode.
Tell them how much they fucking suck and use me as a crush.
I thought you were saying about like the person themselves should talk about how they themselves suck.
No, tell us how you're doing much better than these guys while I'm busy being married and being a carpenter. You know who's also a carpenter? Jesus.
Wow. Quite the
Sam is Jesus.
So, yeah, let us know if this was a treat to listen to
or torture.
Homework for you. At awholenewpod@gmail.com. Rate us, review us, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts.
Don't do any of that.
The Google Storefront, Stitcher,
Unsubscribe.
Spotify. Find us on YouTube. Probably our more active location where you can like, comment, and subscribe to us on there.
I would like for you to look up your most recent episode and see if you've had one comment.
We actually have. That was the one I was saying people were saying. I think after 2007, all these movies are bad now. So I went,
They don't know High School Musical 2, the sequel.
Well, that was a 2007 movie.
Ah, fine.
So it checks out.
High School Musical 3.
That is youtube.com/awholenewpod. And yeah, I don't know. I dare to say, like, is there any final comment that Sam wants to leave us off on? Or we could circle back to our Halloween Town episode where we created our new catchphrase that maybe has secretly always been the catchphrase of this show, which was "Fuck Sam Blazing."
Fuck Sam Blazing.
All right, let's tell me the origins of that fucking one.
It's a secret. You have to listen to the
I'm
not going to listen to the fucking thing. You tell me right now.
Hey, what's up? I'm Raven, your Acid Bath Princess of the Darkness.
And I'm Tara.
And we're sitting here in Tara's room, rocking out to MCR and celebrating 2009, or the new year! Which we don't really understand why people are making such a big deal about it, because really, one more year is one more year that everyone's closer to death. Whatever, suit yourself, humanity.
Congratulations.